I am here with Dr. Rob Corney. We're going to look at how nutrition can benefit our performance, what kind of supplements we might look to take to help our performance, and all the stuff in between. So, lovely to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Tell me about yourself. Tell me what you do, what you specialise in, what kind of sports you work within.
Yeah, so I suppose main specialty really was, I did my masters, I did my PhD, and at the same time I built the business in and around. We were kind of working with personal trainers while me and my business partner Caleb was building the business. We were doing blood testing for personal trainers. And basically at that time, when we were doing the blood testing for trainers, we were getting more and more people asking us about how they could improve their performance, how they could improve on what they're doing and how they're doing it. So it wasn't just trainers, but it was their clients as well, trying to optimize things as best as possible. So that's how the business grew really, and it's grown exponentially from there on. Where we've got clinics UK-wide where anyone can do a blood test wherever, nurses that are going to pop in, and then we just try and make things as simple as possible and provide as best support as possible using our expertise.
Nice, sounds amazing. Who would you recommend to get a blood test to? Who would you say, the everyday athlete looking to improve performance for competition, or just a general gym goer? Do you think it's a great way of getting an understanding of what our bodies are doing and how we're training and performing?
Yeah, I would say anyone who's, look, we're in a world nowadays where people are tracking everything, right? Our phones are tracking everything for us. We've got Whoop straps, we've got Apple Watches, everything under the sun is tracked. So therefore blood testing is just an extension of that. Yeah. So everybody should be tracking what they do and monitoring what they do, So in that respect, I would say everybody. Of course, there's more and more people that are more focused on tracking than others, Yeah. Most people just want a good night's sleep, like me included. But in essence, it's the more you can track and determine what you're doing, the more you'll be able to improve your performance as either a general gym goer, a performance athlete, or just someone who wants to be better around their family, as a general individual. So yeah, why wouldn't you, as far as I'm concerned?
There's also arguments either side of supplementing with pills isn't actually as efficient as just supplementing within your nutrition and your meals. Would you argue that that's true? Would you say?
Yeah, the big thing is with vitamin D is you can get it in things like mushrooms, you can get it, obviously in the sun, which we hardly see in the winter, of course. No. So, we can try our best. And obviously, we all do try our best in terms of ticking those boxes where we can. But ultimately, if someone's feeling low on energy, it might be that they're eating a poor diet, like a simplified diet, so sugars, processed foods, to perk up their energy, when actually what it is, it might be the iron that they need. Yeah. So it might be that initially they just want a supplement to assist themselves for the time being, then it's working on the individual foods that are going to act to improve their iron levels. And of course nutrition's best, they're all fitted together so that they all work together, in unison to be absorbed appropriately. However, we do the best we can,
Honing in on that nutrition side of stuff, being a gym goer, being someone who trains a lot, we have protein thrown in our face saying consume protein, help build muscle, which is all well and good, but I think in today's society, and especially within supermarkets, it's very easy to have protein products in front of you, which may not actually be that good for you. So there's sort of a protein bar that claims to have lots of protein in, but is that going to be good for you in terms of your training? Would you be better off getting it from other sources? What's your opinion on the protein
this
product?
is a thing. I think a lot of people can end up taking more protein than what is required. A lot of the research, will show that you don't need as much as what is typically recommended. So that it can go protein and go crazy. Of course, it will help out with exercise and training, but do you need all of that additional, when you're getting it in your diet? I would say more so it might be that if you are training, and you're not getting those greens, like I was saying earlier, it might be more that your just red blood cells are overworking, so you need more of the green-based stuff, like the irons, like and that's why we're seeing this resurgence of more like the green powders and drinks and things to try and tick some of those boxes, because no one wants to sit there and eat a bowl of spinach.
Wow.
But no, that's probably what we need to be having that more with each meal, But yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with, we do know that a higher protein diet, can be better in certain scenarios, but it really depends on the individual. It's just, and the key message is not to go crazy on it, for sure. Even if the marketing is sort of crammed down your throat.
To eat protein. Yeah. So if you were to sit down and talk us through I'm not going to say perfect, but an ideal meal situation, what would our plate look like? Yeah,
so we do want a quarter plate of protein, for sure. Beans and legumes, are going to make sense as well. All those grains that are in there, so they're going to be like the rice, the beans, the legumes, those kind of things, because we need the fibre. We get also some B vitamins in those nutrients. There needs to be a quarter of greens as well, greens and other vegetables. They're really important. That's going to be the key things, really. And it tends to be that we need to also, I know our seas are becoming more polluted and this, that and the other, but more fish, more omega-3s, we just don't get enough of those, and we even see it sometimes in people's, in their cholesterol scores and things like that, not enough good cholesterol, too much of the bad, people are overstressed, eating the wrong foods, etc., etc. So balancing that out, and then, and that's where people are leaning towards those omega-3 fatty acids, like supplements and bits, when, they want to be getting more in their diets.
Just eat some fish.
Yeah, exactly. The fish aren't going to like that.
Sorry.
But yeah, ultimately, that's ideally, and we want to change our foods up. We want to eat different things to tick different boxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, making sure we have a variance, rainbow coloured, variants of different foods. But also enjoying it as well. That's really key. Yeah, because people can do these diets, they can spend this time on their diets, and then they can tend to find that they veer off of them, because if you're eating a bowl of spinach a day, you might get sick of it.
Spinach, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
As you touched on, within the fitness industry, we all people track their macros, their micros, so macronutrients, micronutrients, to an nth degree. And there's there's a popular opinion that you should burn more calories than you consume if you're trying to lose fat. Obviously, some people take that in a certain way and will eat just the value of calories and it not really taking into consideration what kind of calorie they are. So you could eat 1,000 calories of McDonald's, but also you could eat 1,000 calories of fresh meat, potatoes, vegetables. How is that going to benefit your performance, just eating more whole foods and a cleaner diet than just the value of the calorie?
At the end of the day, if you're just eating the calories which are there, calories of course is an energy unit. But the big thing that you're going to be lacking in having that 1,000 calories of McDonald's, for example, is you're not getting those greens that are in there. Yeah. So we are missing some of the key, like B vitamins, the iron that we require, to produce red blood cells. So we might see like someone who's getting anemic, like they might be losing weight, however, they're really low on energy, they can't perform, they might be feeling depressed, that's not good, that's not a good way to be.
What we want.
No, right? So, in an ideal world, it's one of those where should you be that worried about calories? Because if you're eating all the right foods, let's go into that, more greens, more spinach. We know that the calorie density, or as they call it, like energy density of a good quality food is very low. So actually, to eat 1,000 calories of spinach,
you're going to be there all day.
You're going to be there all day. So it tends to be that you don't need to overly worry. Now, is it a good thing to track? Yeah, it's great. But you can become a little bit obsessed with it. Yeah. And also, it's good to track, the odd time here and there. But there's a lot more things to life, right, than spending hours and hours tracking, everything
weighing
under the
food,
sun.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't have the time, If you do and you enjoy it, that's fine, that's very good. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's migrating towards those good foods, making it part of a lifestyle. Yeah. And you tend to find that fits in with people feeling better, eating less and losing weight, you know, just because they feel better in themselves.
And people are talking about how actually these whole foods that are full of the minerals and the vitamins have a really positive impact on your gut and your biomicron, which then helps your mental health. So it's kind of a full package of just eating well, organic, whole food.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we know that a lot of these foods, when we digest them, break them down, they feed the bacteria in our stomach. And these bacteria kind of, you know, they're like our friendly bacteria, you know, they're all in there to kind of be, to look after us, you know, to either create certain vitamins or to provide, to break down certain things to then provide the neurotransmitters, like you say, that to make us feel good, you know, brain healthy. So yeah, of course, the more we can eat those foods to nurture our gut, the better. And that would make sense, you know, rather than having 1,000 calories of poor
Processed,
food.
yeah.
I mean, to me, for sure.
So, creatine is a supplement that is spoken about a lot within the fitness industry. What are its benefits? Who should be taking it, and how much should we be taking?
Yeah, I think number one, I think the most important thing is that, you know, they get all the other nutrition underlying right first. You know, that's number one, get everything right. And then a supplement is doing what a supplement should, which is, you know, you're supplementing your performance, you know. So if you're supplementing your performance, creatine typically is looking at, you know, strength, is looking at power, is looking at speed, you know, so it's working on that's kind of fast twitch type scenario, and it will look to build muscle, you know, so it will add to or supplement to what you're doing existently in terms of your muscle building goals, you know, your strength goals or your performance goals. You know, that's going to be the key thing, really.
Nice. How much would you recommend people supplement with creatine? So 5 grams, 3 grams?
Yeah, I mean, there's the classic kind of loading phases, and it's always, you know, I don't think that's really changed much since a lot of the research was done in sort of like the 90s, you know, where you have that initial loading phase, and then you would have your 5 to, you know, grams after, where you kind of having that, you know, ongoing. And I think ultimately, you know, following the research and following that pattern, and then having that bit of a break, you know, so it might be that 10 grams initially, and then having those 5 grams thereon, absolutely fine. And they show if you have it with grape juice as well, it's going to assist your absorption, you know, so it's like the sugar will, speed up because you're driving the insulin and opening the cells up. So yeah, like that would be a good thing to be doing, but having it with your protein shake or something like that, I think, also I think it takes away the horrible taste of it. You know.
Nice.
So yeah, so I think it's grueling, but it's there is some benefits to it for sure. Yeah.
Another hot topic within the fitness world is testosterone.
Yeah.
Talk to me about testosterone. How does it affect your performance? Can you supplement with testosterone? Is there a level in which you'd need to be careful if you were taking competing?
Yeah, I think ultimately we know that there's more stresses on us than ever before in terms of, you know, family, finances, like which is more current at the minute, you know, workload, you know, sleep, etc. All of these things can drive up, you know, cortisol. So cortisol is your stress hormone, so your fight or flight hormone. So having that, it kind of works like a seesaw. So cortisol goes up, testosterone go down, you know, because it's like, all right, well, you know, I'll send my, you know, sending down one route, and it's like, right, okay, focus on the fight or flight, don't focus on the reproductive side of things. So, you know, so we do see that testosterone can be lower. Now, that can be linked to mood, low energy, especially performance, you know, and obviously, you know, virility with males. So, you know, it's a big thing that people should be keeping on top of. Number one thing with it ultimately is that, you know, you can take it, you know, for sure, but you should be regularly testing, you know, because you don't want to take too much, you know, because too much can then link to suppressing other kind of signals from the brain. I'm just holding myself back from going to it.
Sciencing.
Yeah, exactly. So but basically it could, hold back those signals. Another thing, you know, is it can affect other markers. We know that it can drive up LDL cholesterol, cardiovascular risk, you know, red blood cells, you know, the stickiness of the blood. So you wouldn't want to kind of be in a scenario where you've got got high blood pressure, you know, you're overweight, and then you're saying, right, okay, well, look, I'll take my testosterone because that's going to help me, you know, because you've got to be careful. Again, like if you're going to take it, it needs to be taken the right way and then monitored regularly as well.
Yeah.
That's the key. There's supplements as well that are out there that can kind of assist with the conversion of kind of free testosterone to testosterone, you know, testosterone to free testosterone. There's also, you know, certain supplements out there that will say that they're going to help drive up your testosterone. Typically, you'll find that a lot of these supplements won't be as strong as the actual testosterone themselves, you know, unless they're, you know, they're a supplement that's not tested in the right lab, so they might contain certain things
that you don't want them to contain.
Possibly, yeah. But yeah, so you know, I would say the big thing is if you need to take it, there's no harm in taking it, but it should be done in a monitored and controlled manner for certain.
That's the same for men and women, because obviously women have testosterone.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what we do is we tend to find the same things. You know, as females get stressed, their cycle can go out of sync. You know, on top of which is their progesterone links there. You know, if they have, you know, low estradiol or estrogen, you know, you can find that it links to bone metabolism, you know, mood, you know, all of these things which are really important. And so we know that having those levels at the right levels is really important for females as well. But that's the same with testosterone, you know, so women need that level of testosterone to make sure they're healthy. So they should make sure they're ticking that box also. So it's that same scenario, but it wants to be done on a good, strong foundation. So what I mean by that is that, you know, if you're not sleeping, you know, you're overstressing as a board member or something, you know, and then you think, oh, that's going to help me. You know, sort the sleep out, you know, and the cortisol will come down and the testosterone should drift up as well.
So it's more of a managing a lifestyle to keep your testosterone levels as they should be, rather than sort of ignoring all of that and trying to supplement with it to add it on top.
Exactly. And if you do decide to supplement it, it's making sure that you monitor things in the right way, don't overdo it, so that all of your markers are kind of checked regularly and all in line.
So if you were to recommend 5 foods or supplements for our lovely viewers to take away that help lead towards a really healthy lifestyle, strong performing in whichever chosen sport they do, what would be your core 5?
Yeah, so I suppose the big thing is it will depend, you know, on different people's diets and scenarios, you know. Obviously we've got our genetics, we've got our ancestry and things like that, which can affect things like vitamin D. But the big ones we see for sure are, you know, omega-3s. You know, we always see a low HDL level with people.
Eat that fish.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. And then, you know, the vitamin D, you know, is really important. We see that levels are kind of sub where they need to be majority of the time. Sometimes very, very low. Sometimes just like, you know, we're seeing these kind of these big ranges, and we want to nudge people to where the research is, as opposed to where, you know, tick that box, everything's fine kind of thing. We want to be optimal, right? So vitamin D is an important one. We do tend to see iron deficiencies, you know, so iron I would say is an important one if that's low, or the food would be making sure you're getting the right, you know, like you're getting a lot more greens in the diet, you know, driving a lot more. So so that would be important as well. What else we kind of seeing, I would say folic acid as well is an important one we see going down, but again that can be replenished very quickly with the diet. We tend to see that people that are low on folic acid or B12, if they supplement, it jumps up quite quickly. You know, even though it's water soluble, you need it each day. So if you eat a good diet, that will come up naturally. You do see that. So yeah, I would say they're probably the key 5.
So I want to talk about alcohol. Obviously, loads of fun. Some people like it a lot, some people like it less. What kind of physical effect does alcohol have on our bodies, on our training, if we're trying to lose weight? What kind of implications does drinking have?
Yeah, so I suppose the big thing is with alcohol is that, you know, if we whittle down the constitutes of it, you know, we know that there's kind of like the sugar in there that's a lot of time, like the yeast that's thrown in there to, you know, to mix with the sugar to create the alcohol. You know, ultimately we'll whittle it down to alcohol, which, you know, back at school you could get a pen off the table. So it's like, we know it's not good, you know.
Yeah,
of course. But you know, but as a social aspect, you know, let's talk about the positives first, and then we'll go into the negatives. So as a positive, it might be that relaxant that people need at the end of the week, you know, and just kind of calm down cortisol, stress, etc. You know, as kind of, you know, suppress a stress, for example. You know, but the negative side of things, yeah, your body does have to metabolize the alcohol. It has to work hard for it. You know, you have to drive more water into the body, and it would dehydrate you more because of the effects of the alcohol of metabolizing it and getting rid of it. You know, so it will be detrimental towards performance, you know, sleep, metabolism, all of these things. However, you know, it's all about choosing the right type if you're going to. So we, you know, like I was saying with those constitutes, you know, we know that if we have it in cleaner forms, which is gin or vodka, that would be much better than, let's say, wine with all the, you know, the sulfates, the sugars, and all the bits with them, or like the beer with the yeast and the sugar and the hops and everything with it. So they would be better versions for people.
So basically, gin and tonics all round.
Gin and tonics, like vodka and you know,
vodka soda.
Yeah,
one
exactly.
of those.
Those kind of things are perfect. But you know, it's one of those where, because it's quite a short drink, it can lead to more consumption. So it's just balancing it up properly. But yeah, if you're going to go for it, we tend to say go for the cleaner types as opposed to going for the beers and stuff, which could affect gut bacteria, you know, or have further problems in terms of the higher calories, etc.
So your WKDs and your Smirnoff Ices are out of the question.
Yeah, typically. Yeah.
So, as you can see, there are so many different topics within nutrition. We want to know how we can stay on top of that. What's the best way to keep a track record of how our bodies are coping with what we're putting inside it? So, you obviously specialize in blood tests. How would we go about getting in touch, having a blood test done? Do people come to our houses? Did a kit sent out? What's the sitch?
Yeah, so basically, you know, like you say, you know, we can look at typical supplementation, typical diets, but until we really test our bodies and see where we are, we don't really know exactly where we are at that point, you know. And you might get these things done, you know, medically, which you should, and be under a good GP, but actually nutritionally, if we're already within that healthy range, it's nice to tick a lot of those boxes. So yeah, what we typically do is, you know, you can get in contact with anyone at our office, and if you go to www.gcbiosciences.co.uk and you go on to the contact us, that's for either trainers. They can go to our partner area and, you know, become partners with us, so we can support them with any education, any info that they require. Or any support for their clients, or if you're looking to do testing yourself, you can contact us directly. We have a number of ways in which people can do the testing. Yes, we have the home kits, but we have a big range of nurses throughout the UK that will kind of visit to your house, do the bloods, you know, take the kit, take the bloods, send them off to the labs to make it nice and easy. And we encourage it in that direction. Or we have a number of clinics as well, which we typically aim to ensure that we're kind of within 15 minutes within a major city or town. Rural areas around 30 minutes. So we try and make it as quick and as easy and as painless as possible for people. So yeah, the way the process will work, once we get the test results back, they get sent to the individual, and there's a nice overview of key findings in terms of what this means nutritionally, what this means in terms of supplements that are important, and also the medical factors as well. So we have a GP on board who can assist with anything. Amazing. If it comes to that. So yeah, nice, easy to read report so that people can have it there and understand it, and then they can track that and look at a history over time, really. So yeah, that's what we kind of, I would say would be the take-home point, is that people just test regularly, keep an eye on things, and yeah, they're more than welcome to come to us, and we can chat them through that if needed.
Nice. Well, a massive thank you to Rob for joining us today. We will talk about loads of other topics within nutrition across the channel. If you've liked what you've seen today, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, give us a follow, drop a comment down below for anything else you might be interested in, and we will see you soon.